Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm Christian Esparza, joined by Alex Napoles, as always. Alex, let's jump in to the NFL. It's almost here. The Hall of Fame game is next week, next Thursday, to be exact. Chargers and Lions. Can't wait to jump into the NFL season. Last year was a really good one. I had a lot of fun.
I had a lot of fun too, man. It's right around the corner in football. I can feel it.
Did you watch, do you have Netflix? Did you watch the quarterback show?
I do have
Season
Netflix. 2? Haven't watched it yet.
Oh, it's good.
I need to get around to it.
Season 2 was maybe almost as good as season 1. I don't know.
Who's in it again? It's
so
Burrow.
Season 2 is Joe Burrow, Jared Goff, and Kirk Cousins again.
That's who it was, Kirk.
I really enjoyed it because you had obviously the Lions as one of the best teams in the NFL, and then they ultimately disappointed in the playoffs. You had the Bengals as one of the most underwhelming teams ever, but they were still on the brink of the playoffs. And of course, Joe Burrow was playing at an MVP level, but the win total wasn't there. And then Kirk Cousins, his story was pretty heartbreaking because playing in his first year in Atlanta during, quarterback season 1, he kind of became a fan favorite. Like everybody loved him.
Yeah.
And then this show kind of shows behind the scenes and what he was struggling with Atlanta, and ultimately he underwhelmed there. So I love it. I like the behind the scenes look, and I know it's obviously severely curated by the players and you're not going to see everything behind the scenes, but even seeing a glimpse of it I think is really interesting. So highly recommend if you are a fan of the NFL. But we've got some news coming out of NFL training camps. The Bengals finally agreed to terms with Shamar Stewart.
Finally.
Their first round pick. There were threats that he could apparently a rookie that's drafted can not sign their contract, sit out a year, and then re-enter the next year's draft. And he almost did that.
There's also talks about him at Texas A&M.
He went back and was practicing
He went back,
with them.
and that's kind of where he was keeping, staying in shape and staying physically ready. He was training with Texas A&M, and then they asked their head coach during media days, and they said, "Hey, is Shamar Stewart, can he come back?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Look, right now he has no intention of coming back, but there was a path for him to go back if he sued the NCAA." Which
everybody does.
Everybody does nowadays. And everybody seems to win. So there was a path for him to go back, but I'm glad, for the sake of the Bengals and for the sake of Shamar Stewart, I'm glad that they were able to finally put an end to this saga and finally be able to sign it. So it is a 4-year, fully guaranteed contract worth $18.97 million and includes a $2.4 million signing bonus per Adam Schefter.
And you wish all the noise would go away, but you've still got their other defensive end, Trey Hendrickson, who leads the NFL in sacks over the last 2 years. He is still holding out.
Yes.
We saw Myles Garrett get paid. We saw TJ Watt get paid. He feels like he should be paid in the same realm as those guys, which, you have more sacks than them over the last 2 years. I would definitely agree. So that's that. The Bengals are always going to be a mess.
I feel like the Bengals just needed to sign Shamar Stewart to kind of get over this cheap stigma that they got going on with them right now. But while Trey Hendrickson is out, while your best defensive player is out, you're gonna have that rap.
I agree. How do you want to handle this? Let's go through. I guess, should we just hit who we think are going to be the contenders this year?
Let's do it. Aaron Rodgers said 10 to 12 teams are true contenders in the NFL.
I would buy into that.
And I think I agree.
So you look at the AFC playoffs last year, you had the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens, the Texans, the Chargers, Steelers, and Broncos. Steelers, I think, have the highest chance of falling out of the playoffs just because we know what Aaron Rodgers is going to do. He was not good for the Jets last year. He has not been good over the last couple of years. And again, he's on the wrong side of 40. The thought is maybe he's fully recovered from his Achilles tear, but what does that mean for him? And even then, I don't like the rest of the Steelers roster. I think their offensive line has got a little better. The defense is always going to be solid, but I just don't know if they have the weapons. I know they traded for DK Metcalf. I know Jalen Warren has been a solid running back. I just don't think they have it. I don't. So out of all those teams, I think the Steelers are the most likely to fall out.
I would agree. We've seen this song and dance before with Aaron Rodgers at the Jets, and I don't see it going very much different in Pittsburgh.
And as far as being in the same division, I think it's really easy to see the Bengals taking that playoff spot. That 6th seed
Absolutely.
or whatever.
I don't see the Browns coming up.
No.
No.
So you're looking at probably the Ravens and Bengals from that division. Another possibility, and for as much fun as I had watching the Broncos last year, it's a very real possibility that Bo Nix has a sophomore slump. They didn't really add to their receiver room in the offseason. I know they drafted Pat Bryant in the 3rd round. They're expecting big things out of Devon Vele, but it's a very real possibility that Bo Nix takes a step back or doesn't improve as much as he needs to. And as deep as the AFC was, it literally came down to Week 18 last year with the Broncos making the playoffs. You had the Bengals right there, the Dolphins were right there as well. So
right, it was good. It was a good end of the season.
It was a tight race. Who knows what's going to happen? It would really break my heart, but I gotta be fair.
I got Instagram pages trying to convince me that they're going to win the division.
I do think Bo Nix is the greatest quarterback of all time. I'm so excited for him, but it is again we see it happen all the time, right? The sophomore slump. It's a very real thing. I wouldn't be shocked at all. NFC wise, you think the Lions are going to be the best team in the NFC next year?
I think they still have a shot on paper, but I think it's really going to come down to their coordinator situation. Are they going to get the same type of production by losing their offensive and defensive coordinator?
Right, of course, Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator who worked magic. He literally revitalized Jared Goff's career. He is now the head coach in Chicago.
Yeah.
Then Aaron Glenn, the Lions defense lost, I think, 8 or 9 of their 12 starters throughout the year last year.
Yeah.
And Glenn found a way to keep that strong. He's now the Jets head coach. So the Lions won, I think, 15 games last year. And they probably will take a step back. The Commanders came out of nowhere, played really well. They made it all the way to the conference championship. And then, of course, you got the Eagles, who won the Super Bowl. I don't think the Eagles are going anywhere. I don't think the Commanders are going anywhere.
I don't think the Commanders are ready to take a NFC East winning step yet, but I do think the Commanders will continue to build on the success they had last season.
You don't think they'll win that division? Oh, yeah,
no,
over the Eagles, right?
Yeah, no. Not while the Eagles are the Eagles.
Fair.
Unless they have a significantly giant fall off this season.
Or if the Commanders take a big jump. I mean, I know they won some playoff games and that was awesome, but in reality, I mean, Terry McLaurin is a phenomenal receiver.
Yeah, and then you have the scary Terry question.
And yeah, he's holding out.
Right.
They brought in Deebo Samuel, who I'm not a fan of. I think he's incredibly washed. I think he looks old. I think he looks big. He doesn't look like prime Deebo Samuel. The defense should be fine. They just signed Von Miller, which obviously he's a long ways away from being a real impact player, but he's still a very good rotational edge rusher.
Despite being a little bit up there in age.
Despite being very old.
And same thing can be said about Bobby Wagner, man. Getting older, but he's still doing a very phenomenal job.
So we'll see. I think those three are definitely the cream of the crop in the NFC. I think those are the teams to beat. And then you've got the Rams, who could very well take a step forward after adding Devontae Adams. I think that's huge.
They're winning the West.
And I know they lost Cooper Kupp, but at this point, Devontae Adams is probably better and maybe more even reliable than Cooper Kupp, and they've still got Puka Nacua. How healthy can Matt Stafford stay? I think that's the biggest question now. I think the defense for the Rams is a rising talent. The Vikings, how well do they play with J.J. McCarthy, essentially a rookie after missing all of last year? I think he played one preseason game and tore his meniscus. So Sam Darnold came in and won a ton of games. Can J.J. McCarthy do the same thing? I don't know. That's a big question mark there.
Are we going to have 3 double-digit win teams in the NFC North again?
Lions, Packers, and Vikings all won. Yeah, well, I think the Vikings won 14 games.
Yeah.
It came down to the last game of the season to decide that division.
Yeah, and the Lions were trying to change the playoffs because of that.
Yeah, which is funny because they ended up winning.
Right.
But I think it wouldn't I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know. The Packers are good.
If one team is going to fall off from that success that we saw the NFC North have last season, it's going to be the Vikings.
Out of the Vikings or Packers, I think obviously because of how important quarterback is.
Right.
I think that's the most likely answer. So I would agree there.
Which not to say like I think JJ McCarthy is going to have like an absolutely horrendous year. I just think that it's his first year starting. I know he had, the entire season last year to sit back and learn. But I feel like there's a big difference in sitting back and learning while you're rehabbing an injury than sitting back and learning while you're like the second string taking reps in training, right?
Because half your attention is focused on rehab.
Right. And so, not to say I think he's gonna have a terrible year. I just think that the Minnesota Vikings will probably regress to a little bit of a mean while JJ McCarthy kind of figures things out.
Who knows? McCarthy was a top 10 pick. They liked what they saw.
National
Kevin
champion.
O'Connell he's an incredible coach, and he's clearly shown that he's a quarterback whisperer, getting the best out of Kirk Cousins, getting the best out of Sam Darnold. They brought Josh Dobbs in off the street, and he played crazy for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Is that the astronaut?
The Pastronaut, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Then again in the NFC, you've got the Buccaneers also. Baker Mayfield finding new revitalization in his career. They've got Mike Evans, Chris Godwin should be back and healthy. They drafted Egbuka out of Ohio State. Ohio State. I really like what the Buccaneers have going for them on offense.
The NFC South sucks.
Which is crazy because you'd think that the Buccaneers would have dominated that division, and they really didn't.
They didn't, no. But I think the Buccaneers are heads and shoulders above the rest in the South.
And then we touched on the Packers a little bit. I think the Packers are the Packers, right? Like,
I think they'll take a step forward. They had a lot of young talent last season.
They were almost a little underwhelming last year. They added to the receiver room. They drafted a first-round receiver for the first time ever. Which was huge for them, but
I think that's what the Packers need, right? I think you have a running back, you have a quarterback, you have a good line. I think you need better weapons in the receiving core. He had a lot of young receivers that I think can potentially take steps forward, right, in their development and in their careers. But I think you need to have a star receiver. You got the pieces all along the rest of the offense. But you need to have the go-to guy at wide receiver. And I don't know if they have that right now.
So we did this for the AFC. Which of these teams are most likely to fall out of the playoffs? Because you've got, the Seahawks won 10 games last year, and they missed out on the playoffs.
Right.
You've got the 49ers, who you would expect to bounce back after an extremely down year. Who knows what the Bears could do, or the Cowboys, right, who both made pretty big additions this offseason. So who's losing their playoff spot if any of those guys rise up?
Remind me the seedings from last year.
Lions.
Yes.
Eagles.
They'll be in.
Buccaneers.
They'll be in.
Rams, Vikings, Packers. Commanders, Packers. Commanders were the 6th seed. Packers were 7.
See, it's a really hard thing for me to look at any of those teams right now and say that they're going to fall out.
Maybe you go with sophomore slump again. Maybe Jaden Daniels takes a step back.
Could be.
Realistically, they only won 12 regular season games. And I shouldn't say only, but
12 is still a good number.
12 is a good number.
12 is a great number.
And that's going to get
Especially
you in
for
the
a rookie
playoffs.
quarterback.
Yeah, that's going to get you in the playoffs every year. But I don't know, maybe Terry McLaurin holding out has a real negative impact.
It could be. I don't know why they haven't really taken the initiative to re-sign him. I think he's earned his money.
Yeah.
Right? And you're completely right about Debo. I don't know if I trust Debo right now. And so I think he needs to have Terry McLaurin to be successful in Jaden Daniels, right? The Washington Commanders need to have their star wide receiver.
Yeah. Daniels can't do it himself.
So depends on what happens there. We'll see, but right now I just look at the NFC and the teams who made it last season, right? Who made the playoffs last season, and I have a really hard time picking out a team who's not going to make it. But if I had to pick, I'm looking at Minnesota, similarly to what we were talking about earlier.
Just because it's a big question mark.
It is. It's a huge question mark.
Even though he was a top 10 pick, I think they took him 9th. there were a lot of people who even questioned that because at Michigan, the whole was he a system quarterback? How much did he really do for that national championship team? It's a very valid argument. He is a very big unknown right now. We even I heard some sound. I should have had it ready to play. I apologize for that. Justin Jefferson had a sound clip earlier this week, and he basically said, yeah, he's a rookie. You can't expect him to come in and be playing like a vet right now, which is kind of code for saying, yeah, he's not that good.
Oh.
But again, it's the very start of training camp, right? And like I said, O'Connell has done a great job of getting the best out of any quarterback that has come through and played for him. So we'll see. Traditionally, you have a new team on both sides, AFC and NFC, every single year. You have at least one new team. So somebody's going to fall out.
I think the obvious choice for the team who's going to sneak in and make it in after not making it last year, it's the 49ers, man.
I was going to say 49ers.
It has to be the 49ers.
I thought you were going to go Seahawks just because they won 10 games. But
no.
I don't know if I believe Sam Darnold in Seattle.
I think Seattle takes a step back.
Yeah.
From what they did last season, I think they'll fully embrace a rebuild here for the Seattle Seahawks. But the team that I think will bounce back, it's the 49ers. They still have an insane amount of talent. Last year sucked.
Yeah.
Last year sucked for the 49ers. But I think the roster that they have, and re-signing Brock Purdy for a lot of money, you gotta have a big bounce back here if you're the San Francisco 49ers.
Update on Brandon Ayuk. Sounds like he's still not fully recovered from his knee injury last year, but you've still got Jawan Jennings, who came on the scene big. He's actually kind of frustrated. He wants a new deal. We'll see what happens there. But you've also got guys like Ricky Pearsall. He was a first-round pick last year, looking to take on a bigger role after Debo's gone. Then, of course, you still got McCaffrey in the backfield. You still got Kittle. Those two are always going to be the best at their position, or one of the best at their position when they're on the field. Defensively, they've got Robert Saleh back as the defensive coordinator. I think that's when their defense was the best, was when he was there. Still got Nick Bosa. Tremendous talent on the edge. They did lose Dre Greenlaw, but they still have Fred Warner. So, yeah, I would be shocked if the 49ers are below 500 again.
If they're below 500 again, I think Shanahan will quickly be looking for another job.
I agree. That was fun. We'll see how the Hall of Fame game goes. Again, that is next Thursday, Chargers against Lions, and that officially kicks off the NFL preseason. Also excited to watch Hard Knocks. It's the Bills this year.
Yeah, man.
I love Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks is fun. I got to watch Hard Knocks and quarterback. And look, I know it's the Hall of Fame game, and people,
there's not a lot worth watching.
It's football, man.
But it's football.
It's football.
It signifies that the off season is over and it is football time.
We're back.
We are back.
Let's do it.
All right. Coming up next, Alex, we are going to continue talking about Lionel Messi and what the MLS's stance against him means. So stay tuned. We'll hit that next. It is the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Welcome back to the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I'm Christian Esparza, Alex Napoles with me. It's time for 5 minutes of time to talk a little bit about a lot of things, right? We'll start off with this. This was a potentially big story. We'll see what it actually means. Thursday, President Donald Trump signed an executive order that basically directs members of his cabinet to develop a plan in the next 30 days aimed at preserving college sports opportunities and preventing college athletes from becoming professionals. Long story short. So, in summary, nothing actually happened. It's basically just taking initiative and saying, okay, we have 30 days to figure this out. So we'll see if this actually means anything, if anything comes from it. But it is interesting that Congress is stepping in the Division of Labor and stuff like that. They are stepping in and taking this seriously because everybody kind of recognizes that it's getting out of control a little bit.
Yeah. What I'm kind of taking away from this is the fact that, he wants he wants college athletics to separate itself from pay for play and those third party payments, and so essentially he wants to do away with the NIL and the third party payments. And if you're going to do NIL, it has to be for quote unquote business purposes.
So it would still allow, because they have the screening, the NIL Go, right, which is going to vest things.
Right.
And so NIL would still be okay through that, but it's through the third-party things that don't get verified, which is already not allowed anyways, right? But there's not really a way of monitoring that.
Which is kind of interesting, too, because a couple of days before this executive order came up, Russ Ellinger of Yahoo came out and reported that the hard cap for the revenue sharing had just become a soft cap because they were going to allow NIL to kind of do what they want.
Yeah.
And then this is when this executive order came in and said, hey, actually, we probably shouldn't do that. So we'll see what happens. You're right.
There's still a lot of change.
There's still a lot that is going to happen. But the steps are being taken and made to hopefully have a little bit more clarity in what the future of NIL and what the future of paying players will look like. I know that they're trying to avoid pay for play, but we're at a point where it is pay for play, and maybe college sports need to embrace it a little bit.
There's a chance that nothing comes from this.
Yeah,
because this fish has simply gotten too big. I wouldn't expect any singular person, much less one organization, much less the freaking government, to be able to try and monitor this any which way. I think that it's simply impossible. I mean, we're talking about 134 FBS schools.
Yeah.
D1 in total is like over 300. So that alone, it's like, yeah, good luck.
We'll see what happens, man. But I do like the idea of like, hey, let's try to regulate things a little bit and try to actually make some rules to,
In theory, it's a good thought.
In theory, it's a good thought.
And I truly, sincerely hope that something gets figured out. I just have my doubts.
Same here.
So stay tuned on that.
Yeah.
30 days from the 24th. Let's go back to Lionel Messi. We brought him up during technical fouls a little bit to reset the situation. Messi and Inter Miami teammate Jordi Alba were both selected to the MLS All-Star Game, which happened last Wednesday, and they no-called, no-showed. They did not appear at the MLS All-Star Game. The MLS has a rule saying that any player who skips the All-Star Game is subject to a suspension. So that was Wednesday. Thursday morning comes, and there's kind of speculation on whether they will or won't get suspended because Messi's image is so big, because he essentially is a partial owner in the MLS as a whole and Inter Miami. I know that that's not technically the rule, but it kind of is. His brand is so big, and he is so big. He is the sport of soccer. So how could they possibly suspend him for a regular season game because he missed the All-Star Game? Not to mention, their game this week is against the top team in the East, and it has huge stakes. So how could they possibly suspend him? And the MLS does. They announced that they are suspending Messi and Alba, and I think that was a great call. I'm so happy that they did.
Imagine if they didn't.
Imagine if they didn't. That's the thing, is they realize that sets such a dangerous precedent, because it's not the first time that you've had a European star come over. I know Messi's not from Europe, but he played in Europe for his career, right? It's not the first time that the MLS has had an older star come over and finish their career there, right? We saw that with Zlatan. We saw that with David Beckham.
There's big chunk, big handful of guys.
A lot of guys.
Yeah. But
Messi's different. We're talking about one of the greatest to ever play the sport.
Right.
The most popular sport ever. So it's kind of a big deal. And if they didn't suspend Messi,
the backlash would be insane. Well, the backlash was already insane because we alluded to it a little bit in the technical foul segment, but there was a report that came out yesterday morning that said they weren't going to get suspended, and the reaction, Christian, that I saw online to that was insane. It was so bad so that the top MLS voices, right, the biggest analysts had to step in and say, "Hey, actually, they're still evaluating."
Yeah.
Because the backlash was already very poor and very negative, and so essentially MLS does come back and does suspend Lionel Messi. But that causes a whole nother bit of problems where you have the Inter Miami owner then having to come out and say Messi is so upset that he is suspended for such a big game that we hope it doesn't impact Messi's decision to stay in Major League Soccer because it's a contract year for
Right.
Lionel Messi.
Yeah.
So now he's threatening because you suspended him, he might not come back.
And honestly, so the direct quote was, Lionel Messi is extremely upset. I'm hopeful it doesn't have an impact long term. Will it have an impact on Messi's perception on the league and its rules? No doubt. To be honest, we can take this two different ways. Number one, I think the MLS was fine before Messi came. If Messi leaves, it's not going to destroy the league.
No.
And I think that the MLS realizes that. Obviously, having Messi there is growing the league at such an incredible rate that they couldn't have ever dreamed of. Like, it is literally best case scenario for them. But if Messi decides to go play somewhere else, to go back to Europe or whatever, it's not going to destroy the MLS. And I think they know that.
No, not while they have that Apple contract. That Apple contract is making them a lot of money.
It is making them a lot of money. It's also limiting how many people watch the games, but they're getting paid a ton.
But yeah, they're getting paid a bunch. I don't think I don't think that's, I don't think that's necessarily at the forefront of what's on their mind.
And again, you can't allow any one player to become bigger than your league. That's what the NBA's problem was.
Right.
With LeBron James. LeBron James became bigger than the NBA. LeBron James became the NBA. And ironically enough, LeBron James missed the NBA's All-Star Game this year. Of course, he was injured, so a little bit of a different situation there, but it's funny.
It's different, being held out due to injury and being held out because you didn't even get on a plane to go to Austin. Just completely no call, no show the All-Star Game.
Disrespectful.
Yeah.
It's disrespectful. At the very heart of this conversation, it is a player not showing the league the respect that the league deserves. It's looking down on the All-Star Game as not important when, this has been such a topic of conversation over the last couple of years with every single sport. The All-Star Games are losing popularity, which is fine, but it's also part of the rules. It's part of the league. And the players deserve something to be, to show off the stars, right?
Yeah.
That's important.
I see this a couple different ways. One, I don't feel bad for Messi. I don't feel bad for Miami.
Oh, hell no.
And the situation that they're in because you have the choice to withdraw. You could have withdrawn, and this all could have been avoided. But you didn't. You just decided to no call, no show, and now you're in the situation that you're in. So it's hard to feel bad for Messi. It's hard to feel bad for Jordi Alba. It's hard to feel bad for Inter Miami because essentially not withdrawing and you still get the check.
Right.
You still get paid for it. So in that sense, I don't feel bad. But I'm also looking at it and I'm thinking it's time to get rid of the All-Star Game for Major League Soccer. There's no point in having it anymore. It's a glorified, we're going to vote in our superstars, and there's just no glimmer. There's no shine to it. It's time to move on from MLS All-Star Game. And on top of that, it's so dumb to have this game on a Wednesday night and then force the players to play again on Friday night.
That's where I'd go.
48 hours later, you're back into playing games.
I wouldn't because saying that they need to get rid of the All-Star game is giving in to Messi's needs. That's the message that he's trying to convey by sitting this out this way. So if the MLS were to get rid of the All-Star game, that goes back to allowing the player to become bigger than the brand. I would say you're right. I mean, their season is already incredibly long. Play the All-Star game at the end. Well, I guess you can't because that's like December. I don't know. Figure something out.
Give them a week off.
Yeah, do it during July, or give when some of these other guys are off, or give them another bye week.
Right.
I don't know.
It's so. Why are we having an MLS All-Star game on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, and then turning around and having games Friday, Saturday, and Sunday?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a fair take, but
it makes no sense to me.
To get rid of it again that's giving Messi what he wants, and I think in this situation that's not what you want to do. You can't.
But I've had those feelings for me personally. I've had those feelings since before Messi ever arrived.
And I'm sure this wasn't Messi's idea.
Right.
I'm sure he's not the first player to be like, "Oh, this is BS."
Right.
But he recognizes
Zlatan Ibrahimovic did the same thing.
Right, and so Messi recognizes the power that he has, and he's trying to make a statement with this. And I get it, and I'm with you on the same page. You know, the NBA has an All-Star break. The NFL plays their All-Star game when not everybody is playing, and the players that are in the Super Bowl don't end up playing. And I get that. And so there are different ways to go about it. The NHL has an All-Star break. So take something from those other leagues if you're going to make a change, which probably should happen. But we'll see if this is the domino that ends up with Messi leaving the MLS. It was fun while it lasted. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if he leaves. To be honest, if you would have told me that Messi finished his career with Inter Miami, with the MLS, I would have probably been more surprised at that point than if he leaves.
No, and I think his plan has always been to return to Argentina or to return to Barcelona to fully retire.
With Alba and all his other friends on this Inter Miami roster.
But I don't know. We'll see. It is a contract year for Lionel Messi, and I think if he uses this suspension as a way to, throw some shit at the league and say, I'm not going to ruin my contract because I got suspended for the All-Star game, I think that's poor.
Yeah. Well, the MLS has always had its fans.
We'll see.
And I know that they gained a lot of new fans because of Messi that they will probably lose if he leaves.
Yeah.
But there has always been an extremely loyal fan base for the MLS that's not going to go anywhere. And I think that's ultimately kind of what they can look back on. Again, it's not like the league is it's not like if the WNBA loses Caitlin Clark. Yeah. It's not the same situation as that.
I would agree.
The MLS has been established. It's never going to be the biggest professional soccer league in the world. That's not the point. It's going to be around, I think, for a long time, whether or not Messi stays.
100%. So. Whether he's there or not, they'll be fine.
All right, we got to take a break. Coming up next on the other side, we will wrap up another edition of the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. I agree, Sean. Welcome back. Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Real quick, lot to hit here. Still so much. Happy birthday, Walker Kessler.
Happy birthday to you.
24th birthday. He's number 24.
Love it.
So it's a huge day for Mr. Kess. The big WK.
He's been phenomenal, man. What a pickup he was in that Rudy Gobert trade. Quickly becoming a fan favorite. Longest tenured.
That's hilarious.
Jazz man right now, which is also kind of crazy to say, but nonetheless, he's been phenomenal. I love me some Walker Kessler, and happy birthday to the big man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing, real quick. Early reviews on Happy Gilmore 2 came out yesterday on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet. I might watch it, but after seeing what I'm seeing, sounds like it's not great, unfortunately.
Ugh.
Not a surprise, though, right?
Yeah, not a surprise.
I don't think anybody was expecting it to be good. But, 90s and early 2000s Adam Sandler's movies were good in a bad way. Like, he had some big misses. Like, Little Nicky was awful, right? Like, but even the original Happy Gilmore wasn't a good movie, but it still has charm. People still like it.
I'm a big believer in the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter.
The audience score
And
or the critic score?
A bit of both.
Okay.
So the tomato meter is a 67% right now for Happy Gilmore 2. So I mean, it's decent. It's not good. It's not bad.
Yeah.
But it's decent.
Okay.
The popcorn meter, the audience rating, 75%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's better than I've heard. Maybe I'm just seeing
So
the
audiences are liking it better than the critics.
the loud majority. Yeah, I guess go watch it for yourself.
Yeah.
My friends loved it.
Your friends, did you watch
Yeah,
it?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
But they said it is exactly what they wanted.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe I should get off Twitter.
Well, that's your first problem.
Yeah, right. Coming up on the station today, of course, we are going to have RSL and the Salt Lake Bees. As always, the Bees are going to get going. They are at home against Albuquerque. That game is going to be around, looking like it's around 7, according to our schedule. But Real Salt Lake, huge storyline here. Playing the San Jose Earthquakes. Pre-match show at 6:30. First kick is at 7:30. Go to this game. If you have nothing to do tonight on Saturday, go to this game. Chicho Arango is returning to Salt Lake City for the first time after being traded to San Jose in January.
Yep.
Of course, he was on pace to break RSL's scoring record. That never came, but he had a phenomenal first half of last year. Was he the most expensive acquisition in RSL history?
That is right.
So it's a big deal that he's coming back. And I know he wasn't here for long, but he made an impact.
Made an impact. Was so close to breaking the single season record. Got suspended in July or in June, early June. Wasn't the same player.
Did he
following
tie
the
it or was
suspension. He tied it?
he did tie it?
17
Okay.
is the record. He got 17. It is his return to America First Field. There will be post-game fireworks for Pioneer Day.
Oh, that's right.
As Real Salt Lake celebrates Pioneer Day, so get your tickets. Go out there. Go support Real Salt Lake. Coming off a 1-0 loss to Cincinnati, but a good loss. And yeah, man.
Is Diego Luna playing?
He is.
So Diego Luna can play in the All-Star game and then return on Saturday.
That is the hope for
He is,
tonight.
of course, much younger than Messi, but yeah, I mean the Riot. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Well, they still call the fan base the Riot, right?
Yeah, it's still the Riot.
Well, they're going to be rioting
Yes.
as always.
Yes.
An extremely fun environment. I would definitely recommend checking that out. And the fireworks are just a cherry on top.
I'm curious to see the reception Chicho Arango gets from the fan base tonight.
I'm sure he's. Do they boo?
Oh, they boo.
Yeah, I'm sure he's going to get booed. I'm sure he's going to be very negative.
I think they'll boo.
I think that I don't know if this is I don't know how fair it is, but I think he might take a lot of heat for last season falling apart the way it did. So
Yes.
whether that is just or not, I don't know. But go see. It's going to be an incredibly fun game. Thanks for listening. It is the Saturday Show, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.